The most popular compact phones in the same price range are the Galaxy S25, iPhone 16 and Pixel 9. I have already spent a lot of time with these three phones and they all received a bunch of new updates. So I decided to spend a day with them and compare some of the software features, camera, battery, and performance. So you know which one is the best choice for you. I am Mo, this is Tecmo, and today Tanya is helping me shoot this video. Between these three phones, the Galaxy S25 is the only one that is actually compact in my opinion, especially if you put a case on it. The Pixel 9 is gonna become a bit bulky. iPhone 16 is also alright, but Galaxy is still a bit lighter. The Galaxy S25 is noticeably lighter. It is only 162 grams, while the iPhone 16 is 170 and the Pixel 9 is 192 grams. The Pixel 9 is also taller than the other two phones. All three phones have a bright display for outdoors. The difference is that the iPhone 16 has a 60Hz display, which means you won't feel the animations are as smooth as the 120Hz displays of the other two Android phones. The display of the Galaxy is LTPO, meaning it will help preserve battery life since the refresh rate is variable. The Pixel 9, on the other hand, has the latest Samsung M14 display, which is one of my favorite displays on phones. The other difference is that the iPhone only has Face Unlock with a dynamic island on top, whereas the Android phones have a dot for the selfie camera and also have ultrasonic fingerprint scanners. All the phones have AI features. I updated them to the latest version available now to not miss anything. One of the most useful features for me is the Magic Eraser. It is super nice to be able to simply remove part of the image quickly for sharing on social media. All the default gallery apps support this. That said, the quality of the generated image afterward is not the same across all of them. On Apple, despite my best efforts, the phone simply was not able to remove the tree over the building, and my guess is that they are not using any generative AI algorithm and simply rely on some older image processing. The Galaxy did an amazing job, and I love how it reconstructed the other half of the building. Google did alright, but there were too many artifacts added. It is still better than the iPhone. Another feature that is missing right now on the iPhone is circle to search. You can simply draw a circle around an object and it will reverse search it for you in the Google Images. It is one of my favorite features already. Theoretically, you can do the same on the iPhone with Google Lens, but it is not as convenient. The iPhone and Galaxy have a lot of built-in writing tools with the help of generative AI. You can select any text in the app and it will proofread it for you, summarize it, or translate it. I usually use this feature often when I want to summarize my emails. I'm not aware of a similar feature on the Pixel, but correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. One extremely useful feature on the Galaxy is the AI Select tool. You can select anything, including text, in any app, even if the app does not let you select text, for example in Reddit or YouTube comments, and perform different tasks such as translation on them. This is again one of those features that I use daily and find super useful. Generally speaking, the Galaxy is ahead in terms of useful AI features, and the Apple Intelligence is lagging behind. Google has the technology, but I also feel it is lagging behind in terms of integrating Gemini into daily use. OneUI 7 looks more like iOS these days than stock Android, and it is not negative by any means. I personally like how the notification center looks and the separation between the notification center and the quick settings on the Galaxy, which helps you see more notification on the page. Also, when you are playing music, the iPhone shows in the dynamic island, which is nothing new. The Galaxy is the latest OneUI update, added a small bar on the top left corner that shows the music playing, but on Google Android, you don't see any indication. If you go to the quick setting on the iPhone or the notification bar on the Android phones, you can see your music playing and interact with it. The lock screen is updated on these phones too compared to the previous versions. On OneUI, you can see the music playing and other information on the Now bar at the bottom of the screen. You can click on that and, without unlocking your phone, interact with the music or the other apps. On the iPhone and Google phones, you can also see the music playing and your notifications on the lock screen, and you can customize it. For the camera app, my favorite one is definitely the Galaxy S25. It has all the features you need, even some pro features. For example, if you're a content creator, you can use the Pro Video mode and have access to even false colors, something not even some mid-range Sony and Canon cameras support. Or, for example, you can use the dual camera mode. For the iPhone, My favorite feature is the filters. Galaxy also has a nice filter set added in OneUI 7, but I still prefer the iPhone implementation. For the Pixel, you don't get much out of the camera app, but there are some modes like Action Pan, Long Exposure, and Add Friend that are only available on this phone. The iPhone 16 has Magsafe, therefore you can attach accessories without needing a case, while the Galaxy and Pixel need a Magsafe case for the accessories. And that's a great segue to the sponsor of today's video, Subcase. The Subcase Mag Flip is a perfect wallet that easily attaches to your iPhone, and you can use it as a wallet. There is an RFID card inside that will protect you from scammers trying to use your card without your permission. The wallet can be attached to any phone as long as your case is Magsafe compatible. The wallet is super secure to attach and won't fall off even if you shake it. You can also use the wallet as a kickstand for your phone to use your phone on any surface in a comfortable position. You can also extend the kickstand to use your phone when you are, for example, in a meeting and want the phone to be at your eye level. Another cool feature is that you can use the phone as a selfie stick when you extend it, making the wallet a multifunctional tool for content creators. The Subcase Mag Flip wallet comes in different colors, and my favorite ones are black and gold, which fits very well with a titanium iPhone, and the black goes with any phone. The quality of these wallets is amazing, and you can keep them for years. I'll put the link in the description. Thanks Subcase for sponsoring this video. The iPhone 16 and Pixel 9 have two cameras, an ultrawide and a wide lens, while the Galaxy has three, with the third one being a 3x telephoto lens. The main wide sensors on all phones are roughly the same size and gather the same amount of light. The difference is the color science, where, as you can see, the iPhone's standard profile has a more green tone, the Galaxy is vivid, and the Pixel has a more magenta tone. Sometimes the magenta is too much and can make the skin look like grilled chicken. Here I prefer the colors on the Galaxy, but overall it is also a bit of a personal opinion, and all three phones take great pictures in daylight. They also all support portrait mode, where the phone artificially blurs the background. Here we can see once again that the iPhone has greens, the Galaxy is neutral, and the Pixel leans more towards magenta. For the ultrawide lens, the Pixel and iPhone are slightly wider, and they both have a new improved ultrawide camera, while the Galaxy ultrawide camera is a bit outdated. Hopefully, we can get a faster and better lens next year. For video with the main lens, the shadows on the iPhone are a bit lifted compared to the others. The Galaxy is more vivid compared to the iPhone. The Pixel is more contrasty and has deeper blacks. The other thing about the Pixel is that, at least in this instance, it has some ugly lights and exposure shifts. The selfie camera on the iPhone and Pixel are wider compared to the Galaxy, which is nice. That can help add more to the frame, for example, if you want to fit multiple people. Similar to the ultrawide lens, I hope Galaxy adds a wider lens next year. The minimum focal distance on the Galaxy is a bit high. That means that you cannot take macro shots, but you can take macro shots with the Pixel 9 and also with the iPhone 16. In practical terms, it means if you want to take a picture of a flower, for example, on the Galaxy, you have to be at more distance or use the telephoto lens instead. The same applies when taking pictures of a bug or small objects. You won't be able to get too close to the subject since the picture will turn blurry on the Galaxy, whereas on the Pixel and iPhone, you can get pretty close. Between these three phones, the only one that has a telephoto lens is the Galaxy S25. The interesting thing I observed though is that the iPhone can in fact take nice pictures even at 3x zoom, whereas on the Pixel, you start to see over-sharpening and lack of detail pretty quickly. But overall, the optical quality that you get at 3x zoom on the Galaxy is much better than the iPhone and Pixel, and having a telephoto lens, even though it is low megapixel one, is still advantageous. If you want the third telephoto lens, you have to get the iPhone 16 Pro or the Pixel 9 Pro. But also, we should not overstate the advantage of having a 3x telephoto lens, because even at 5x zoom, both the iPhone and Pixel can still keep up with the Galaxy in terms of quality, as long as you are not pixel peeping. The other thing is that the Galaxy S25 also does support log. Log is a flat profile that lets you color grade your footage later if you want to. The cool thing about having a log profile is that you can add colors however you want to the footage. For example, here I tried to give a retro vibe to this footage that I took with the Galaxy S25. The iPhone 16 does support log 2, but not the base variant. For performance, the iPhone has the latest Apple A18 chipset, the Galaxy has a custom-made Snapdragon 8 Elite, and the Pixel has the Tensor G4. The single-core performance of the iPhone is better than the Galaxy, but the Galaxy gets better multi-core scores. The Pixel lags behind in terms of performance and gets around half the score of the others. In real terms, it means that, for example, if you want to export a video with CapCut, for the iPhone 16 and Galaxy S25, it takes around 2 minutes, and for the Pixel 9, it took 75% longer, around 3 minutes and 30 seconds. The other thing about the Pixel 9 and Tensor G4 is that it also gets hotter compared to iPhone and Galaxy. For example, after 36 minutes of recording 4K video at room temperature, the iPhone is the coolest, the Galaxy is a couple of degrees hotter, but the Pixel is 3 degrees hotter compared to the Galaxy. For battery life, the iPhone 16 has a 3500 mAh battery, the Galaxy has a 4000 mAh battery, and the Pixel has a 4700 mAh battery. But in practical terms, you won't notice much battery difference between the three phones. For example, I did a day in the life comparison after the updates, and after spending an hour making videos and photos, 1 hour of general web browsing, and other tests you have seen in this video, and 1 hour of YouTube all on 5G, the iPhone had 51% battery left, the Galaxy had 49%, and the Pixel 9 had 50% battery left. Depending on what test you do, the results can vary a bit, but overall the battery life is comparable among them. So which one should you choose? If you're an iPhone user, I would say just pick the iPhone 16 or pick iPhone 16 Pro because you get that 120Hz display and also the telephoto lens. If you're an Android user, it is a bit difficult to choose between the Galaxy S25 and also Pixel 9. Galaxy S25 is more compact, you have a telephoto lens, and also the display is LTPO, which means you get better battery life even though the capacity of Pixel 9 battery is larger. On the other hand, the Pixel 9 has a clean Android experience, and that's what a lot of people prefer. Also, I do feel like the ultra-wide and also the macro capability add to the flavor of Pixel 9. It kind of depends on your personal taste whether you prefer the Pixel 9 over the Galaxy S25. If you want to see a more precise battery comparison with more camera comparisons, you can watch the comparison of these three phones versus the Xiaomi 15 next. Thanks for tuning in to Tech Mo, and I will see you in the next one.